Yo, what's up guys? It's me, the Great Widow here, back again with a brand new video. I just want to say thank you all so much for getting me on to 700 subscribers. Let's go over that. Let's get at least to 1K by the end of this week. If we can get there at least. Now, enough of me. Let's get right into the video. So, we cut back to God this time. After sending Izuku down to Earth, he became worried. In the last 10 seconds of sending Izuku to Earth. And so, he's thinking to himself, if his son dies, he don't know if he's gonna, be available to go to heaven anymore. Because he is special. He is part, God and mortal as well. So he doesn't know how he will fit into the spiritual world. Or how will he ever go up to heaven or visit hell. So, to make sure Izuku does not die until he reaches the age of 20, where his body becomes mature and actually becomes immortal. So Izuku has to wait at least 2 years to become fully immortal. So, God, he calls up Metatron. Or, he goes by 60 other names, but the most common name he goes by is Enoch. So, God, he calls up Enoch, and Enoch comes in, and he's surrounded by at least 10 warrior angels that he specifically trained. And Enoch, he has at least 72 wings, and he is the most powerful of all the archangels combined. But he's not as powerful as Izuku, since Izuku does have the blood of a god, and Enoch was transformed into an angel. Yes, he was not born as an angel, but turned into an angel. Enoch, he was the most trusted supervisor of God. Even though he was a human, he was the most trusted. And God, once Enoch died, he turned Enoch's body, soul, mind, and spirit, become an angel. And not only an angel, but a higher rank angel, surpassing even his own sons. And he was given many titles. And he was given a crown. And his title was the Prince of Presence. That means that he can change the past and look into the future. Yes. So once Enoch comes down and bows right in front of freaking God, and God just says, Enoch, you are the most trusted person above everyone here. And Michael, he's kind of jealous since God would choose Enoch over Michael. But Michael, he understands because he has fought Enoch before and noticed how strong he is. And he noticed that he watched Izuku fight Enoch as well, only for training, and both of their skills are just the same. But Izuku has a more of an advantage. So, God just says to Enoch, I want you to guide my son. He doesn't know much about the world, only what my sons have told him, which is barely anything. And Lucifer just says, hey, I showed him a little bit. And God just says, the only thing you showed him was how to have sex. You're very disgusting, Lucifer. And Lucifer just says, yeah, but at least he won't be a pussy. And Michael, he just hits Lucifer in the back of the head saying, shut up. You're in front of fucking Enoch. And Lucifer just says, yeah, whatever. I'm going back. And Michael just says, going back where? Back to hell? And Lucifer just says, yeah, at least they appreciate me better than here. So Lucifer, he just grows his wings, or sprouts his wings to be exact, and just flies down and goes straight through the earth, reaching hell. Now, Enoch, he just says, he hasn't changed over the years, didn't he? Even though he's having a brother. His charisma does not change one bit. And God, he just says, yeah, I'm trying to change him, but it's kind of hard. And Enoch just says, I understand. Now, what do you wish me to do, my Lord? And God just says, as I told you before, I want you to guide Izuku. I want you to, be his guardian. I was told not to interfere long ago, and you know the reason why. So, Michael and the rest of the angels aren't to interfere as well. Only you. You're given a privilege. And Enoch just says, yes, I'll protect my brother through and through. And God just says, please do. I'm trusting you more than them. And Gabriel, he just says, really? Come on, Uriel, we're going. And Uriel, he just says, fine. But before Gabriel can go, God says, Gabriel, I want you to make a message to the world. I want you to blow the horn. And Gabriel just says, wait, now? Are you sure? And God just says, yes, I'm very sure. And Gabriel, he just says, okay, I guess I'll start. So Gabriel just sprouts his wings and flies off. And he goes to the top of a mountain, the highest peak reaching above the clouds. And he blows the horn, signaling the return of God's son. Yes, this isn't the first time Izuku has gone to this so-called world. Well, he got there when he was 4. And he's just seen it from afar. He wasn't allowed to go down there fully, just spiritually. And he was only able to go from a fair size range. So Izuku did not see much, just a few kids playing in a park. And then he got bored and he went back to heaven. Now, Gabriel just blows the horn, and it's a golden trumpet. And he just blows it, signaling the return of God's son. And all the people from all over the world hears this. And they're just overjoyed. Even people from Japan and all the heroes hear this and think, oh, is this someone's quirk? We need to find it. And so some of the heroes did spread out and try to find it, but none of them find it. So God just tells Enoch to go now. So Enoch, he bows once more, and he jumps from heaven down to earth. During this time, Izuku, he's just walking around the park. And he notices this big ass tree that is full of pink. And it's just like pink pink leaves all over it. And he thinks to himself, so, this is a cherry tree. Very beautiful. And Izuku, he's just sitting under the tree and just admiring just the view. And Izuku, he just closes his eyes and just imagines the world in his image. But then, he just hears a crunch, and then later crying. Izuku, He opens his eyes and sees that there's a human there, but he's crying. So Izuku, he gets up and walks towards them. Then later he sees 3 big humans as well. Well, around the same size as Izuku. And Izuku just sees these humans beating up this kid. So Izuku, he just shouts, "What's going on here?" And the man just says, "Huh? You want to get beat up too, kid?" And the guy just shoots out, shows up his fire in his hand. And Izuku's wondering, how is he doing this? And another guy, he just, makes a knife slowly. And Izuku's just wondering, this is strange. And one of the guys just telling him, "Hey, get the hell out of here. This is none of your concern." And the kid who's crying and just says, "Please help me." And one of the guys just kicks the kid right in the face and saying, "Shut up. This is what you get for stealing my fucking lunch, you poor ass orphanage kid." And just kicks him one more in the stomach. And Izuku now sees what's going on. Izuku, he's clenching his fist. He is enraged by just this whole stunt. And they're doing it right in front of Izuku. Slowly, the heavens above him, the clouds, all turn dark. The once tree that was right next to Izuku, that was once beautiful with cherry, a beautiful cherry tree, turns into dust. Then later, crows started to spiral around Izuku and just circling him. Then thunder started to erupt. And all the guys are noticing this and says, so this must be his quirk. No matter, he's just a weakling. A scrawny kid. And the little kid who was on the floor says, Don't hurt him! And just try to push the other man away. But the man just slaps the kid away. And Izuku, he's even more enraged at this. And thunder started to spiral around this whole cloud, creating a whole, just a huge ball of lightning and thunder in this one sphere in the air. Enoch, he notices this and thinks to himself, I must stop this. If he goes too far, he might destroy a whole fucking planet. And Izuku, he just says, you humans are disgusting. How should I deal with you? And the guys, they just feel this bloodlust coming out of Izuku. And Izuku just saying, it's been so long since I felt this. I hope you're all ready to go to hell, because I'm taking you down personally. Have fun meeting my brother. And Izuku, he raises his hand into a fist. And Enoch, he gets there immediately and just holds Izuku's hand and says, calm yourself, brother. And Izuku, he looks back right at Enoch's eyes, and Izuku's eyes are just lightning coming out of it. His eyes are just white and blue, just crackles of lightning coming out of his eyes, and says, you don't tell me what to do, brother. And just kicks Enoch away. I'm gonna show these human trash of weaklings how weak they are. Now, Humans, face your judgment. And he just throws a whole thunderbolt right at one of the guys. And this guy is charcoaled. He's like fully on charcoaled. And the other two, they just run away screaming. And the kid that was on the floor, he curled up into a ball and just crying. And Izuku just looks at the other guys who's running away and saying, "Where the hell do you think you're going? I haven't finished the job yet." And Enoch, he transforms into a dragon. Yes. And Izuku, he throws one more lightning bolt at the guys, but Enoch took it like a champ. He got right in front of the guys and took the thunderbolt and shouts, "Izuku, stop this now, or I will make you." And Izuku, he laughs himself and saying, You couldn't even beat me up in heaven. How the hell do you think you can beat me now?" And Enoch just says, "Because you're mortal. That makes you weak." And Izuku just says, "Even so, I'm mortal. I can still at least put up a fight." And the little kid, he just looks at Izuku and says, "Sir, are you okay?" And Izuku, he stops what he was doing and just looks back at the kid. Yes, Izuku now feels compassion. And Izuku just looks at the kid and says, "I'm sorry, kid, for scaring you." And this kid, I'm just going to call him, I'm going to call him an extra. Why? Because he's just an extra. So the kid just says, "Yeah, I'm alright." And Izuku just looks at his arm, and it's broken. Izuku, he grabs some grass and dirt, and he tells the kid to give him his arm. And the kid, he slowly lifts up the arm, and Izuku just places the grass and dirt on him, on the arm. And then the grass slowly went inside the kid's skin and repairing it. The dirt around it uses as a cast. So the kid, he's wondering, what's going on? And Izuku just says, "This is one of my powers." "So, where are you from, kid?" And by this time, freaking Enoch, he de-transforms, and now he's in this human form. And Enoch just says, "Damn, kid, you're gonna be more of a pain in the ass than fucking Lucifer." And Izuku just says, "Just don't compare me to him." And Enoch just says, "Yeah, you are exactly like Lucifer. More arrogant and less thoughtful about the people who are around you." Izuku just says, "Shut it. Now, why are you here, Enoch? I was told that no one was supposed to help me." And Enoch just says, "Well, your dad told me to guide you. And thinking about it right now, I'm glad that he did. If he didn't, he would have just blown up this whole damn planet and caused a whole flood once more." And Izuku just says, "Once more? What do you mean by that, Enoch?" And Izuku, he just finished healing up the kid. And Enoch just says, "Well, it wasn't the first time your father caused a flood. Enveloped the whole world in just water." And Izuku, he wonders to himself, will I ever have to make that decision? And Enoch just stops him and just says, don't even think about it. God promised Noah that he'll never do it ever again, and he'll stop interfering with human lives. You should too, because that promise is sacred. And Izuku just says, fine. Now, back to the main focus. Where are you from, kid? And the kid just says, well, I'm from this orphanage. And Izuku just says, so, you're an orphan. And judging by you, you are pure of heart. I respect that. And the kid just says, yeah, I guess you can say that. And this kid, he's around 5 years old. And he got his quirk. Well, he's actually quirkless. And Izuku, he just looks at the kid and notices that he has even more scars on his back. And says, who did this to you? And the kid just says, some kids. And Izuku just looks at Enoch. And Enoch just, nods no. No. I am not adopting a kid. And Izuku just says, well, aren't you the Prince of Presence? The one that, judges a person by their past and future, and it was able to manipulate that person's future? Enoch just says, yes, but I'm not supposed to do it on a person, but exactly how do you want me to do it? And Izuku just says, just change his future just by a little bit. Make him have at least good parents. And Enoch just says, well, I can do that. Not that hard. And Izuku just says, thank you. So, Izuku, he just looks at the kid and says, you remind me of myself. Well, not really. But you are more of a pure-kinded person, aren't you? And the kid just says, yeah, I stutter a lot. And Izuku just says, don't worry. And Izuku, he puts his hand on his back and creates something special. And it's a necklace. And it's more of a pop-up necklace, which has something inside. And he gives this to the kid and says, if you ever need my help or you need my assistance, just open this up and read it. And the kid, he opens up this locket, and it's like a cross locket. So once he opens it up, he sees that there's a small scroll right in the middle of it. So he opens it, and it's a prayer. And it's a special prayer just for Izuku. And Izuku just says, if you ever believe in one person, who do you believe in? And the kid just says, the All-Father. And Izuku just says, good. Now, go on then. And just dismisses the kid. Izuku, he sees the kid just wave at him and then disappears. Izuku, he just sits down on a grassy field and just wonders himself, how would he ever finish his trials? And Enoch, he sits right next to Izuku. And Izuku just looks at Enoch and says, how are these humans able to use these kinds of powers? And Enoch just says, that's why I'm here, to guide you. And also tell you the truth. And Izuku says, the truth. Enoch, he goes on to say the whole story. Well, once your father created the heaven and the earth, he also created men and women. They were born equal to one another. Peace was all over the land. Fruit hanged heavily on each tree, and everything was peaceful. And God ordered at least 200 angels to watch over the humans. And these group of angels are called the Watchers. And the leader of the Watchers is Samyaza. And the second in command was Azazel. At least 200 of them work for Samyaza. Their job was to carry out all the prayers that all the humans are making and give it to God. God ordered them to stay only to watch, not to interfere or take the lives of humans, but just to watch and see the outcome. But soon that changed. The humans started to procreate with each other, and they created just beautiful women. And so all the angels were just tempted with lust, and they all decided to take the women for themselves. And only one of them, Samyaza, the leader of the Watchers, disagreed with the whole thing. But he was intrigued as well, but did not give in to the lust. But soon he did. All the angels tried to convince him, and they did successfully. Once they head down to Earth, they had this whole, how to say it, they had sex with each other. That's all I'm saying, Izuku. And Izuku, he's just thinking to himself, damn, these angels are really dirty. So much for being this pure light that humans see. Ugh. And Enoch, he just continues on saying that, well, thanks to these angels, they created this new species called the Nephilim, or other words, what humans call these days, giants. And the women, while giving birth, they died. But the giants, they fed on their own mother's corpses and started to just rampage the whole city. And the worst of them all was Azazel. He was the one who gave powers to humans, taught them how to use swords, weapons, and also gave them what people call today quirks. And Izuku, he stops Enoch and says, quirks? What are those? Are those what we have? And Enoch just says, no. Our power is way beyond the limits of humans. But humans are able to acquire a little bit of our divine, our divine power. And Izuku just says, alright, go on. And no one noticed this until Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel, and Raphael looked over from heaven and saw the world plunge into chaos and darkness. Blood just evaporated into the air, and all-out carnage and war was born. Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael went straight to God and talked about it, and they all put the blame on Azazel. So, what do you think God's reaction was, Izuku? And Izuku just says, I bet he was pissed, wasn't he? And Enoch, he laughed to himself. Pissed? Oh, the heavens, how it rained blood every day. No, he was beyond pissed. He was angry, furious. And so he ordered Azazel to be cast down to hell, to the deepest, darkest pits of hell, to be blindfolded, chained, and then just discarded in the desert. And were always frequently be thrown stones sharp like knives at him. And just never to see the light again, but always feel pain. So was the 200 angels who participated in this whole predicament. They were cast down from heaven, never to see the light ever again. Samyaza, he broke the promise that he and God made, that they will only watch the humans and not intervene. So God, he made his punishment even worse by burning in the lake of fire. And Izuku just imagines a person just burning forever. And Izuku just shivers down his spine. And just, all in all, wonders how that pain would feel. And Enoch just says, and God ordered Gabriel to try to convince the Nephilim to kill each other. And Izuku, he wonders himself, so, I wonder, these humans took on the power of the Nephilim. And Enoch just finished the sentence by saying, so, only some Nephilim who are smart enough got into the boat of Noah. And Izuku just says, wait, you mean the Ark of Noah? Enoch just says, yes. And what came about it was horrible. Gabriel convinced some of the Nephilim to kill each other, and all-out war spouted out. Only a few of them survived, and they managed to sneak into the Ark while they can. Under the what's called God's aids, or not to say, sight, they were able to sneak inside. And Noah did not know about this either. Once God decided to fill the world once more in water. So Izuku just says, so he flooded a whole place, and Enoch just, rubbing his forehead and says, yes, sadly. This caused all the humans to die, as well as the Nephilim. Well, only some. And Izuku just says, alright, go on. And Enoch just says, well, after the whole flood disappeared, all there was left was just nothing but, I don't even know how to describe it. It was horrible. And God felt so bad of it. So he promised to Noah that he'll never do the flood ever again. And Izuku, he says, do I have that kind of power to flood the whole world if I wanted to? Enoch says, yes, you do. But this promise was sacred. So I don't think God would even let you think about it. And Izuku just says, fine. Then what happened to the Nephilim who were on the boat? Well, they I wouldn't say make amends for what they did, but they were kind to each other. They weren't brutal beasts as they were told. Well, only some of them. But these different types of Nephilim, they had intelligence. And they wanted but only love. not hate or hunger. And then they had children with each other. And this is what caused all the ancestors to start to rise. The Nephilim, they are no more, but their grandchildren and children before them are born. And this is what people call quirks now. But only some had. God created new humans, but they didn't have the same power as the Nephilim, or even close to the power of their own grandchildren. So, you should know how they're not equal. So what do you think will happen, Izuku? What will you do? How will you make the world equal once more? Izuku, he stands up and just looks at Enoch and says, the way I want this world to be, the way I envision it in my mind, is a place of total control. A place of love, faith, hope, and then I'll destroy all of it. Then from it, I'll create something brand new. I'll shift the system. I'll shift everything what people believed in. I'll believe in myself. You said that my father won't interfere with me. Good. I plan on taking this world for myself. And Enoch just says, well, I hope you're alright with this, but you'll be facing trials even more than you are given right now. Some demons know that you are mortal. Some will probably try to kill you. Some will even try to drink your blood, which is disgusting. And Izuku just says, isn't that why you're here? To guide me and protect me? Big brother. And Enoch, he just gets up and says, yeah. And he's have to babysit this little twerp. And Izuku just yells at freaking Enoch saying, I'm not a twerp. How old are you, huh? You're probably older than these humans. And Enoch just says, yeah, I am. And that means you're more considerate to become my grandpa. Or even worse, my fucking ancestor. And Enoch just says, just shut it. Come on. Let's explore. So, Enoch and Izuku walk around the city. They see different types of people with different types of powers. Until they hear a huge explosion. So Izuku was wondering what's going on. So was Enoch. So he asks Izuku if he wants to check it out. And Izuku says, sure. I'm kind of bored right now, so at least there's a little bit of entertainment in this world. So Enoch and Izuku, they walk there. And they just see a whole crowd and just news teams there. And just a bunch of people hiding behind a whole barricade. And Izuku, he passes through these people, and Enoch is right behind Izuku. So Izuku's just nudging these people from side to side, just push them away, and just seeing the whole fire happen. And he sees a person inside something that's gooey or slimy. He doesn't know what the hell that is. So he tells Enoch, is that something that was passed down from the Nephilim? And freaking Enoch just says, well, their powers are very different. So I'm guessing it is. What do you think it's going to be? And Izuku just says, yeah, alright. So he tells Enoch do you want to interfere? And Enoch, he just looks at Izuku and says, I mostly follow your, rules. But what do you want me to do, Izuku? And he just sees the people just discussing to each other, telling how their plan will work. So Izuku, he walks up to these heroes and says, "Hey, what's going on?" And the hero just says, "Hey, kid, get out of here. This is very dangerous, even for you." And Izuku just, take this too polite and just says, "Alright, but I'd like to know what's going on first." And the hero just says, "Don't you just see the fucking villain?" And Izuku just looks at this guy and says, damn humans don't even show respect these days. And the hero just says, "What?" And Izuku just turns to Enoch and says, "I really don't want to put attention to me, not yet. Would you like to save the child, Enoch?" And Enoch just looks at the child, which is actually Bakugo. And Bakugo, he's screaming out and just trying to explode everywhere, trying to get it away from this slime monster. And Enoch, he just, thinking to himself, does he really want to go into the trouble of helping this kid? And he just looks back at Zuko and says, I'm fine with helping this kid, but do you really think I will help him? And Izuku just says, "Fine, be a big baby about it. I'll help him." And Enoch just says, "Wait, you're still immortal, remember?" And Izuku just says, "So what? I still have enough power to take over this damn monster, whatever it is." So Izuku, he's walking through the fire. And some of the heroes try to stop Izuku, but Enoch interferes. So the whole TV news, they see this and see that there's a kid walking through the whole fire. So they just tell, "Keep the camera rolling." And they just go and just points the camera at Izuku. And Izuku, his whole hair changes. His eyes change red. And he just changed his appearance. And some of the people were like thinking, so does he have a transformation quirk or something? And some of them were like thinking, how could that help, kid? Aren't you here supposed to stop him? And the hero just says, "Move it. We're gonna save that kid. He's gonna die." And Enoch just says, "Oh, no. I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you to do that. I am strict orders, and I must follow my king." And the hero just says, "Just move out the way." But Enoch transforms into a dragon and says, "I told you to step back." And now the cameras are focused on Enoch. And this gives Izuku a perfect chance. Why? Because he doesn't really want to show off his power that much. Only to an extent. So while the cameras are rolling right at Enoch, Izuku took this opportunity and just grabbed the Bakugo from the whole slime monster and just pulls him out of it. Without any, not even a chance for the slime to fight back or even take back the body. And the slime, he just says, "You brat. At least your body will be more comfortable." And just tries to jump at Izuku. Izuku, he just says, "Fire." And the whole slime just goes up in flames and just screaming out in pain. Now, the cameras are just going straight to Izuku. And they just see Izuku just burning the slime. And just sees that he's not even moved an inch, but burned him alive. Now, all the heroes, they're just jaw-dropped that this kid would ever do that. Now, Bakugo, he's on the floor and saying, "You bastard, I could have gotten this." And for this, I'm going to make him a little bit more arrogant, since Izuku hasn't been there for his life. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So Bakugo just says, "You bastard. You don't have to save me. I had it all under control." And Izuku, he just goes up to Bakugo and just flicks him right in the forehead and says, "Damn, kid. You're more pain in the ass than my brother." And Bakugo just says, "What?" And he just started doing explosions in his hand. And Izuku just says, "Enough. Enoch, we're leaving." And Enoch, he transforms from a dragon back to his normal, human form. And just says, yeah, where are we going next? And Izuku just says, well, we need to go to at least find a place to stay. And then all the fucking citizens there and all the TV news and all the heroes just rush at Izuku and Enoch. Some of the news teams are just like asking questions like, what's your quirk? Or just going straight to Enoch saying, damn, your quirk is very powerful and scary too. And just overall just consuming them with messages and just actually freaking pissing off Izuku just a little bit, but he doesn't really want to show it. So Izuku, he just turns his hair back to normal green, and his eyes turn to green. And Izuku just says, witness me, humans, for I, Izuku Midoriya, the son of God, have come for retribution. And just silence. And you just hear this guy says, hey, a faker, you brat. And Izuku just says, huh? And everyone just says, damn, this kid is very arrogant. We're saving a kid. And Izuku's just wondering what these people meant. Like, he literally just said he's the son of God, but people aren't really taking him seriously. And Izuku, he's a little angry, but then Enoch just wraps his arm around Izuku's neck and says, come on, oh son of God, let's go. And Izuku just looks at Enoch and says, don't patronize me. And Enoch, he just transforms into a dragon and says, get on my back, we're leaving. And Izuku says, do you even know where we're going? And Enoch just says, no, but at least far away from these humans as possible. Starting to get annoying. And Izuku just says, yeah, you're annoying me as well. Let's go. But they just hear this voice saying, stop there, villains. And Izuku, he turns his head and sees that this muscular man coming right at them. And Izuku just saying, what the hell? And All Might says, I am here. And everyone just turns their faces, everyone just goes straight to All Might and says, oh my god, the number one hero, All Might. Why are you here? And All Might just says, I'm here to take the villain. Where's the villain? And some of the people just point at Izuku and says, oh, he burned him alive. And All Might just says, now that's not very hero-like. And Izuku just says, I don't care. He tried to attack me. Self-defense. Dumbass. And everyone just, gasp and says, did he just say the number one hero is a dumbass? Either this kid has a fucking a huge arrogant bastard or a dumbass. And some of the heroes just says, hey, show the number one hero some respect. And Izuku just says, really? He doesn't really look that strong. I bet my brother can easily take him down with one finger. And All Might just says, now, you are gonna stop right here and now. We're gonna question you on how and why did you kill the villain. And Izuku just says, ugh, this is gonna take up more time. I want this to get over with already. Alright, Enoch, we're leaving. I'm not staying any longer here. And Enoch just says, fine. He's starting to annoy me. And Enoch, he spreads his wings and starts flying. But All Might just says, stop right there, villains. And Izuku just looks at All Might and says, down. And a huge gravitational pull brings him straight down to the earth and just causes a huge crater. And All Might can't get up. And All Might's trying his whole strength to get up, but he can't. Only All Might is affected by this. So yeah. Izuku and Enoch fly away. And then later, Izuku says, reset. And All Might, he can finally get up now. But he doesn't know where did Izuku or that strange dragon guy is. Now, the people who were watching this whole thing on like TV was Todoroki, fucking everyone from Class 1A was watching this, and they were watching on the news. And even the villains were watching this. And All For One was watching as well. And All For One is thinking, I can use that quirk. I must know where they're going. Tomura, try to find their location. And Tomura, he's just scratching his neck and says, call me Shigaraki. And All For One just says, I'll call you what I want. Now, fetch me the boy. And Shigaraki just says, fine. And just continues on scratching his neck just out of frustration. And by this time, Izuku and Enoch, they're in this abandoned hotel. And Izuku just says, you could have found a better place. And Enoch just says, well, everyone saw your dumbass fucking form. And now they know who we are. And Izuku just says, then just transform into someone else. And Enoch just says, well, I can't, but you can. I'm able to transform into animals, not other humans. I can't even change my own appearance. Ugh, this is more annoying than I ever thought. And Izuku just says, fine. Now, can we at least get a decent bed? I don't want to sit in that. So, Enoch, he just turns the whole room on fire, then puts it out with water and says, here, now you have a fucking dusted bed. Now sleep on that. Izuku, he just looks at Enoch and says, go fuck yourself. And Enoch just says, thank you, but go fuck yourself right back. They're just arguing with each other. And Enoch, he transforms into a dragon, like a little bit smaller form of a dragon, and says, you can use my body for at least a pillow. And Izuku just says, aw, this big brother really crushing you, little brother. And Enoch just says, shut up or I will change my mind and leave you in the fucking floor. And Izuku just says, yeah, and just cuddles up with his own brother. Now, this is where I'm going to end it up. Thank you all so much for, just watching my videos in general. And yeah, I'll be able to post tomorrow. Maybe. If my house doesn't have that much fucking noise, I'll be able to post. And you guys will be deciding who should I ship Izuku with. Now, leave it down in the comments. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.